I'm Laura Sanchez, and today we are going to be making blueberry streusel muffins. The first thing you're going to need is 1/3 cup of sugar. The next thing you need is 1/4 cup of margarine, and this needs to be room temperature, so you can either put it in the microwave for a little bit or just let it sit out for a little before you start your baking. And 1/4 cup is half a stick, which is 4 tablespoons. Now we are going to cream the margarine and the sugar together. Once those ingredients have been creamed together, now we are going to put 1 egg in this mixture. And remember, if you're not super amazing at cracking eggs like I am, just put it in a separate bowl before you put it with the other ingredients. That way you don't get any eggshells in your baked good. Now we're going to mix this together. Now we're going to set this aside just for a moment. And now we are going to work on our dry ingredients. You need 2 1/3 cups of flour. Remember to make sure it has just the right amount and that it's leveled off correctly. That was 1/4 cup. The next ingredient we need is baking powder, and we actually need 4 teaspoons of baking powder. 4 teaspoons of baking powder is actually equal also to 1 tablespoon and 1 teaspoon. So it will just make your life easier if you do it in 2 spoonfuls rather than trying to count and make sure you do all 4 teaspoons. And I like to sift my baking powder. So that's the first teaspoon. And these are the next 3 teaspoons, which equals 4. And I'm going to sift it into the flour. The next ingredient we need is salt. You need 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Now stir all the dry ingredients together. And we're going to add this to the prior mixture with milk. So you need 1 cup of milk. And if you put too much milk in your measuring cup, like I just did, you're gonna want to put some back because you don't want your muffins to be too liquidy. So just make sure when you're measuring stuff, you actually measure correctly. And of course you can fix your mistakes now, but you can't fix them after you've already mixed it in there. Okay, so I'm going to pour some of the dry mixture, the dry ingredients with this. I'm gonna mix the dry ingredients alternately with the milk. So I'm pouring in some milk, pouring in some dry ingredients, back and forth until there's no more. Now I need to stir in 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Be careful pouring the vanilla because sometimes it all of a sudden just pours way more than you want, and it's harder to get rid of the liquid. Okay, the very next ingredient is blueberries. So you can use fresh blueberries or you can use blueberries that are frozen. I'm going to use frozen blueberries today. I actually typically use frozen blueberries, but you can also, like I said, use fresh blueberries. So you need 1 1/2 cups. And my frozen blueberries have been pre-washed. I washed them before I froze them. And of course, you don't have to be exact with your 1 1/2 cups on blueberries. You can put a little extra if you want, or whatever. Okay, once that's been mixed together, now you take your muffin pan and you're going to put muffin papers. Sorry, they're not called muffin papers. That's what I call them. Apparently they're called baking cups. I don't know what they're really called. I always called them muffin papers. Baking cups, you're gonna put these in all 12 of the spots for the muffin. Some people don't use these. Some people just spray their pans, and that's totally fine. You can do that if you want. Okay, now that you have your muffin papers, I'm gonna call them, in the pan, Now you're going to divvy the mixture, the batter, into the muffin papers. Now the recipe says that it makes 12 muffins, but honestly, typically I make more than 12 with the amount of batter that this has. So I'm gonna grab a half cupcake pan and make some more. Okay, so I don't need 6 extra muffins, but I'll show you what I do if I don't have enough batter for an entire pan. Just give me a moment. And some of the ones in this other sheet I made too large, so I'm gonna just take some out. We still have to make the streusel topping, and so because of that, it's going to add some more. It's gonna add some more, I guess, height. I don't know how to talk. I don't know how to speak English. Sorry. Obviously, I can't make 18 muffins because I don't have enough batter, so I'm gonna take these out. And what I'm going to do with these 2 spots is I have to pour water in there. That way when I put it in the oven, it is not going to burn the pan. So you need to put water in there, just kind of make it even. It doesn't have to be a lot of water, just enough to have weight in the, I don't know English. And the best part of the whole muffin is the topping. Just like in cupcakes, I really like the tops better. This is the best part. So, you're going to need ½ a cup of sugar. That's a 4th cup measure, so I'm gonna do 2 of them. Then you're going to need a 3rd cup of flour. Then you're going to need a ½ teaspoon of cinnamon. And lastly, I always add nutmeg. You don't have to. I like nutmeg. I think it gives it a little extra pop of flavor, and so I add a 1/4 of a teaspoon, approximately, of nutmeg. I don't really measure this one exactly, to be honest. Now you're going to mix this together. And once you've mixed that together, you can add the other half of the margarine that you kept earlier. You can use butter if you want. I just prefer in baked goods and most baked goods to use margarine. I think it, in my opinion, comes out better. For the topping, you can use butter if you want though. I'm still going to use margarine, I'm just gonna use the other half from earlier. So I'm going to use my pastry cutter and cut this into small pieces. If you want to use 2 knives, you can use 2 knives. I've also heard some people use just a spoon, and honestly, I've never done that, but once you have finished cutting in the margarine, now we are going to sprinkle this topping onto each muffin. I'm going to tell you, it does make a mess. It always has every time I've made it as a kid, growing up, to now. It makes a mess, but it tastes good, so. If you want to avoid a mess in your oven when you put these in there, just put foil underneath them. Okay, so you are going to put these in the oven at 375 degrees for approximately 25 to 30 minutes, or until they are about golden brown on the outside. Make sure that you have preheated your oven. That is one of the first things you should do before you start putting anything together, just to make sure your oven is hot enough so when you put in your muffins, the oven's not gonna mess up. I don't know what I'm saying. Yeah, so put them in the oven for 25 to 30 minutes. And I was going to stop it. And enjoy. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, share. Happy baking!
Babe, can you pass me a napkin, please?
How do I not laugh?
Don't think about it, just do it. babe. You suck at this thing.
I had such a good idea until I couldn't even do it. Alright.
Wait.
Can you show me something sad?
Show you something sad. Yeah. Alright, get in the mode. Alright. Wait, let me just. Now I need to stop laughing. Wow, man.